Well, again, good afternoon, folks, and welcome. Welcome right here to this edition of On the Road Bluegrass with Ron Cornett, coming to you live from here in Okeechobee, Florida at the Yeehaw Bluegrass Music Festival. I am tickled to death to tell you that I have two folks joining me here, Keith and Darlene Bass, joining me on the road, and I want to welcome Keith and Darlene.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to On the Road
Thank you for
Bluegrass.
having us.
Now, for the folks that's not familiar with who Keith and Darlene are, you all were the actual founders of this festival,
No.
right? No?
No, the second ones.
Second one?
Third
We were the
Third
third
one?
promoters.
Now, what years did you have the festival here?
From 2010 to 2015, and it was actually in Yeehaw Junction,
In Yeehaw Junction, okay?
in the cow pasture
Yeah.
in Yeehaw Junction.
Right.
We had it from 2010 to 2015.
Right. Now, I know some folks we met said that they came down one time and they thought it was at Yeehaw Junction, and they put that in their GPS, and they went to a cow pasture, they said.
Ain't much there. It ain't much there.
Right. And you all had that then for 5 years, was it?
Yeah, right at
10, 11,
6.
12, 13, 14, 15, 6 years.
6 years, all right. All right. What was one of the favorite artists during those 6 years that the
wow.
fans wanted to see, that you had to just about bring every year?
Oh, man.
We try not to bring the same ones every year. We try to give them a different, but the one that brought the most for us
Right.
was Rhonda Vincent.
Rhonda Vincent. She's been drawing for many a year, hadn't she?
She lined them up.
We had her in 2011, and then we had her for our last show in 2015.
Right. How many folks would attend the festival back in those days?
Man, I don't really know the head count total. I mean, what
I would
you
say it was over 2,000.
Over 2,000 would attend? Right. And what was the hardest thing that you all found out about doing a festival?
She's one of my volunteers.
For a working man, it was hard.
Right.
Well, because
We didn't have
we
no
both,
sponsors. We
yeah,
didn't have no sponsors.
we didn't have any
We done it all.
sponsors.
Yeah.
We both worked full-time jobs, and we basically erected this mini community for 1 week out of a
Right.
cow pasture.
Yeah.
I mean, we had hundreds of campers, so we brought in electric to make sure we had it. It was
30
like,
amp,
like
30
110
amp
campers
service.
on 30 amp service, and that's not counting the dry campers. That's just the ones that we rolled out electric for, just for the camping. And then our tent was like an 80 by 250.
Yeah.
We built a stage
Bathroom.
yeah, we built a stage where when you walked up to it, the top of the stage was like right here on me. But they had to build it. All this stuff had to be built.
It was a cow pasture, and you put it up in 2 or 3 days, and then you had to tear it down.
Tear it down,
You had
right.
to tear it down.
Yeah.
And all this within a week.
Now, for those that don't know this, you're a ranch foreman, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
7,000 acres.
7,000
About
acres.
2,000 head of mama cows.
How many of that?
About 2,000 head.
About 2,000 head of
Yes, sir.
cattle.
Yes,
Oh, man, I tell you what. And are you still working full-time?
No, sir, I'm retired. When we first took over Yeehaw from Steve Dittman, the previous employer, after we took it over, we found out I got diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. So my first Yeehaw was extremely cold and bald-headed because I'd went through chemo, so I was there. But it gave me a purpose where I couldn't like focus on the cancer per se. I could focus on, all right, we've decided we're going to do this. We got to make this work. And so we did it, and then we added some festivals later on. One year we ended up doing like 5 festivals in 1 year. But then in 15, we knew something was wrong, and we didn't know what it was at the time, so we stepped down, and we announced that January of 15 was going to be our last one. And then in November of 15, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so where I'd been for 20 years, kind of had to go into an early retirement. So I'm retired, and I love it.
Right.
I absolutely
I'm
love
going to
it.
ask the personal question. Is
Yeah.
everything going good now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I'm 6.5 years in remission this time.
All right. Praise the Lord. Don't that. Absolutely.
Yep, it's all about him.
Right,
It's
absolutely.
all about him.
So you did all this festival with no sponsors, so that meant you were totally 100% financially responsible.
Correct.
Yes, sir. I couldn't go nowhere all year, so I had to save money.
I can definitely.
Because when you open the gate and all them bands is coming, you got to have the money, whether
Right.
people show or not. You know?
Yeah, they expect to be paid.
You got to have it.
Now, did you just use one or two national bands and the rest of them local, or how did?
No.
Well, when we took it over, Steve Dittman already had most of the ticket for 2010, and we honored that.
Right.
We New Kids on the Block. We didn't want to, so we honored that, and then we had to add some more to it. But no, we had bands coming all the way from Canada. We had a couple different Canada bands over the years. We booked the Boxcars when they first hit the road. We booked them a couple times. We tried to bring. There was this pattern of bringing the same band every year, and we wanted to get out of that pattern. And Keith, being a musician himself, has an ear for that. So we were bringing bands in that nobody had ever heard of. And at first we caught a lot of slack at 2011 when people saw the flyer and they didn't see their usual headliners there. And they were like, what have you done? But then after the show, they literally come up to us and said, we've never heard of these bands, but we like them. So we were able to expose this area down here with some bands. A lot of them were out of the Carolinas, Haggard Mountain Boys, Constant Change out of South Carolina, and all that. So we were able to do a lot of that, bring in bands that wasn't heard of in Florida. So, and now they become fan favorites. But we still use, like I said, we booked Rhonda Benson twice. We booked Nothing Fancy. The general ones that were kind of known. Bluegrass Brothers, all those. So we brought a good lineup, even if a lot of people had never heard them before.
Right, absolutely. Now, what have you all been doing since you all sold the festival? What have you all been doing? Just going too fast and enjoying them now.
It's a lot better though.
Now we get to go and enjoy it instead of going there and being stressed.
Right.
We actually get to go and have fun.
Yeah, I play a little bit. I don't play a bunch, but I play,
Right,
some.
yeah. And you've got, right, you've got Keith Bass and the Florida Bluegrass Express, right? Yeah.
And there's this little story behind that. Did you ever meet Evan Carl? Very well known.
Evan Carl, yes.
Well, we've known Evan for years. He's known Keith since the 70s. And we were always called the Florida Bluegrass Express, but sometimes we would have different band members. And Evan come to Keith when we put on a festival in Arcadia every year. And he come to Keith, he said, Keith, I'm going to give you a little bit of business advice. He said, change the name of the band to Keith Bass and the Florida Bluegrass Express, and it don't matter what musicians you got with you, they're going to identify. So basically, that's when we actually branded the band.
Right, absolutely. And I think Evan gave us some good advice. That's somebody we miss in the bluegrass community.
That was a walking bluegrass encyclopedia.
Yes. All right. I want to ask a personal question. How long have y'all been married?
We didn't tell him, Keith. I'm sure you remember. We'll be together 37 years in September, and we'll be married 34 years in October.
All right. Keith, what is Darlene's favorite color?
Her.
All right, very good.
I heard me tell somebody yesterday.
Darlene, what would be Keith's ideal car?
You don't really like a car, so do a
Or a truck. Let's make it a truck, yeah.
He'd be I don't know, he kind of fell in love with a Friends GMC diesel 4-wheel drive Denali.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, very good. All right. Keith, what would be Darlene's favorite vacation? Where could you take her?
She likes to go on them cruises, but I'm scared of them cruises. I seen the Titanic one.
You know what?
They say it won't sink, but it sinks. But she likes them cruises. That's probably it.
Would that be right, Darlene?
I love to travel, period. But yes, I love cruises, and he knows it.
All right, Darlene, what would be Keith's favorite musical group?
He likes so many of them. Like current or just musical group in general?
Musical group general.
I'd have to say J.D. Crowe.
All right, good. That's a good answer. All right.
Do you want to know if you want that fan on?
Yeah, if you would, yes. All right. Man, those folks around here treat you right, don't they? And that's impressive to me. All right. Did I do your favorite? No, I did.
You did favorite group.
All right. All right, Keith. What would be Darlene's favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? I really don't know that. Really don't. So she likes everywhere.
All right. You want to tell us, Darlene?
Well, he knows I like Chinese, but he don't. So I eat Chinese when he's not around.
Yeah.
Darlene, what is Keith's favorite food?
Anything fried with potatoes.
I like fried meat and rice and gravy. That's right.
He either wants rice and gravy or he wants potatoes.
All right.
And fried meat, fried.
All right. Well, I want to tell you what, Keith and Darlene, thank you for sitting down here and talking with us.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
And we got to meet
We
you.
appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad you're doing this. This is a good festival. Ernie and Deb's turned it around. Really doing good.
Yes, Evans Media Source has done wonderful this. And if you go to Evans Media Source, folks, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be treated first class. And the volunteers he has and everything is just fantastic.
They bend over backwards to help you.
Yeah, they'll bend over backwards. Well, thank you all for joining us. We're out on Road Bluegrass.